Prayer is power. When you pray, then you are in touch with your higher consciousness. Pray. Pray. Prayer is power. Pray. 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 Prayer is power. Prayer is power. What are you going to do? Pray. 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 When you pray, then you are in touch with your higher consciousness. Pray. 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 Prayer is power. Prayer is power. Pray. Prayer is power. When you pray, then you are in touch with your higher consciousness. Pray. Pray. Prayer is power. Prayer is power. Prayer is power. Pray. Pray. Prayer is power. Prayer is power. Prayer is power. What are you going to do? Pray. Pray. Pray.
Welcome, everyone, to Dr. Pillai's Religion of Religions YouTube channel. Today is Monday, August 8th, 2022. We're about to do an in-depth planetary puja using the chart of now. This is a puja that Dr. Pillai taught to myself and Raja, Meena Malloy's brother, many years ago. And I'm very happy to be sharing this with you Monday through Friday on this channel. Dr. Pillai has said about the Religion of Religions YouTube channel, the foundation of all religions is love. And it is his desire that through the Religion of Religions channel, to unite the many different sects of all religions by meeting in the spiritual realm, by meeting in the heart. We believe in the supreme divine power taking form in all gods and goddesses from every other religion, and so we celebrate their existence on planet Earth. The intention is also to give an authentic experience of God, the experience of divine love, where there is no separation from each other. So that's the very high motive for this channel, and I'm very happy to be hosting the planetary pujas on this channel. My name is Swamini Valli. I am a Pillai Center teacher and an AstroVed astrologer. Dr. Pillai has said that the planets and the stars are more than just objects in outer space. There is also a divine being of light associated with each of them. And as we do this planetary puja and we honor them, we are opening ourselves to be receptive to their positive blessings coming into us and onto our planet. So we thank you all for being here, for participating. And we're going to work with the chart of now in the form of the layout of the South Indian style chart. There is a link to a tutorial video below the current YouTube in the description area if you're not familiar with the layout of the South Indian style chart. Each of the boxes represents a particular zodiac sign, and the planets are listed for where they are located based on my location at the present moment, which is in Florida. AC stands for ascendant. This is the sign currently coming up on the eastern horizon in my local area. This is Virgo. K2 is here in Libra. We'll go in a clockwise direction around the chart as we do the puja. The moon right now is in Sagittarius. Pluto retrograde and Saturn retrograde right now are in Capricorn. Neptune retrograde and Jupiter retrograde are in Pisces. Rahu, Uranus, and Mars are all in Aries. Venus and the Sun are in Cancer, and Mercury is in Leo. I have this chart drawn in chalk on a chalkboard on a side table here, and that's where I will be offering the flower petals as we do the puja. I'll put them on the blackboard in appropriate areas in the chart on top of the planet that we're dealing with. We're going to honor the planets, the stars that they're in, the archetype that rules those stars, the planet that rules the star, and also the planet that rules the zodiac sign that a particular planet is in at the moment. So it is an in-depth puja. You're welcome to participate at home by drawing the chart on your own blackboard or whiteboard or piece of paper and offering flower petals, or just having a saucer and offering flower petals as we go along, or just listening to the puja. Dr. Pillai has said the names of all of these beings is in and of itself a quantum sound or a mantra. And so it has positive vibrations, and even just listening to the sounds of the chants brings positive blessings into us. So whether you're listening in the background, maybe you're doing the dishes or making the bed, etc., or driving to work, that's totally fine. Or if you're participating along at home, that's fine too. On my side table, I also have a lit tea light, which we'll use later in the puja. I have a little container of water. I have a hand fan, and I also have a bell, and I have a bowl with a bunch of fresh flower petals in it. And I'm going to be offering the flower petals as we go along. Flowers have a very pure energy, and they have an esoteric quality, which is if you're holding a flower petal as you say a prayer, or a flower as you say a prayer, or as you do a mantra, it takes the vibration of that prayer or that mantra right into the causal plane or the Akash, and it updates your own Akashic record. So we're very grateful to the flowers that provided the petals for today. I always say thank you to them as I'm preparing the bowl. I appreciate their sacrifice. And so we begin. I take the water and I'm going to just sprinkle. I'm going to take my ring finger and dip it in a little container of water, the ring finger on the right hand, and sprinkle a few drops of water on all four sides of the little blackboard, purifying the space of the puja. I sprinkle a few drops of water on top of my own head, purifying me, and I send a few drops out into space towards all of you to purify everyone, whether you're watching it live or watching the replay later. So now that we're all in a sacred space for doing the puja, we start with invoking Ganesha. Ganesha happens to be an archetype who removes obstacles, and he also is a patron of astrology. So we invoke him at the start. We're going to use the mantra Om Sring Gung, S-R-I-N-G, G-U-N-G. Om Sring Gung, Om Sring Gung, Om Sring Gung. We ask Ganesha to come and to remove all obstacles from this puja for myself and for everyone who watches it live or watches the replay later. And we thank him for his help with this. Now we do a short Tamil chant asking all of the planets to be beneficial towards us. I have put a link in the chat for where you can find this if you're not already familiar with the chant. Asura Nalla Nalla, Ave Nalla Nalla, Atiyar Avar Kumikave. Asura Nalla Nalla, Ave Nalla Nalla, Atiyar Avar Kumikave. Asura Nalla Nalla, Ave Nalla Nalla, Atiyar Avar Kumikave. We ask all of the planets and divine beings that we're going to invoke to be beneficial today towards us and towards the world. We thank St. Gnanasamudra for teaching this chant, and we're grateful to Dr. Pillai for sharing it with us. Now we're going to invoke some of the various time elements that are active right now. We're going to invoke the planet that's ruling the day, the star that the moon is in, the moon phase the star is in, the planet that rules the hour in my local area, as well as the yoga and the karana time elements or time shaktis. We start with honoring the planet that rules the day. Today is Monday, ruled by the moon. I will put flower petals on top of the moon on my little blackboard chart as we invoke the moon. Om Chandraya Namaha. Om Chandraya Namaha. Om Chandraya Namaha. Now we invoke the star that the moon is in. The moment the moon is in a star called Mula. This is a star with foundational energies. We invoke this star, and I put the flower petals on top of the moon. Om Mulaye Namaha. Om Mulaye Namaha. Om Mulaye Namaha. Now we invoke the Tithi, or the moon phase. At the moment in my area, we are in the 11th waxing moon, which is called Ekadasi in Sanskrit. Dr. Pillai said for the puja, we would say the Sanskrit name of the moon phase, followed by the word Devi, which invokes that light being associated with that moon phase. I put the flower petals again on top of the moon. Om Ekadasi Devye Namaha. Om Ekadasi Devye Namaha. Om Ekadasi Devye Namaha. Now we invoke the planet that's ruling the hour. In my local area right now, we're in an hour that's being ruled by Mars. I honor Mars and put flower petals on top of him. Om Mangalaya Namaha. Om Mangalaya Namaha. Om Mangalaya Namaha. Now we turn our attention to the yoga and the karana, two time elements that are active right now. Dr. Pillai said we would not do flower petals for these, just say their names 3 times. The yoga that's active right now is one called Vajriti, which has energies that are divisive. Vajriti, Vajriti, Vajriti. And the karana right now is one called Vishti, which has energies that are inefficient. Vishti, Vishti, Vishti. For myself, hearing this, that the energies right now are divisive and inefficient, I have some emails I need to write, but I'm going to wait until it's a more favorable time so that I don't write emails that upset the people that I'm writing to or that turn into a waste of my time. So that's personally how I use the yoga and karana, to just sort of look at the flavor of the moment and see if it's auspicious for what I need to do right now. These will change later in the day. Now we turn our attention to the chart of the moment. Dr. Pillai said we would always start with honoring the planet that rules the ascendant. The ascendant right now is in Virgo, and Virgo is ruled by the planet Mercury. So we honor Mercury, and I put the flower petals on him. Om Bujaya Namaha. Om Bujaya Namaha. Om Bujaya Namaha. Now, going from the ascendant, we go in a clockwise direction around the chart till we come to a sign that has a planet in it. The first sign that has a planet in it is Libra, which today contains Ketu. We honor Ketu, and I put flower petals on top of him. Om Ketave Namaha. Om Ketave Namaha. Om Ketave Namaha. Ketu is in a star called Vishaka. This is a star that can give blessings to help us to be successful, triumphant, victorious. We honor this star. And I put the flower petals on top of Ketu. Om Vishakaye Namaha. Om Vishakaye Namaha. Om Vishakaye Namaha. Vishaka is ruled by a pair of archetypes, Indra and Agni. Indra can give blessings for leadership and courage, and Agni can give blessings for transformation and purification. We honor these archetypes and ask their blessings and I put the flower petals on top of Ketu. Om Indra Agniye Namaha. Om Indra Agniye Namaha. Om Indra Agniye Namaha. Vishaka star is ruled by the planet Jupiter. We honor Jupiter, and I put the flower petals on top of him. Om Gurave Namaha. Om Gurave Namaha. Om Gurave Namaha. Tula or Libra is ruled by the planet Venus. We honor Venus, and I put the flower petals on top of him. Om Shukraya Namaha. Om Shukraya Namaha. Om Shukraya Namaha. We pause for a moment. Tula or Libra, a sign that has energies of balance and harmony, today containing Ketu, a planet sometimes called the saintly planet. We pause for a moment and reflect on this. The next Rasi or sign with the planet in it is Dhanus or Sagittarius, which today contains the moon. We honor the moon, and I put flower petals on top of him. Om Chandraya Namaha. Om Chandraya Namaha. Om Chandraya Namaha. The moon is in a star called Mula. This is a star symbolized as tied up roots, and it's said to be a star aligned with our own galactic center. It's a star that helps with having us get grounded with foundational energies or to get squared away. We honor this star, and I put the flower petals on top of the moon. Om Mulaye Namaha. Om Mulaye Namaha. Om Mulaye Namaha. Mula is ruled by a goddess called Nariti. She's a smoky goddess of transformational change. We honor her, and I put the flower petals on the moon. Om Naritye Namaha. Om Naritye Namaha. Om Naritye Namaha. Mula star is ruled by Ketu. We honor Ketu, and I put flower petals on him. Om Ketave Namaha. Om Ketave Namaha. Om Ketave Namaha. Now we honor the planet that rules Sagittarius, which is Jupiter. I put flower petals on Jupiter. Om Gurave Namaha. Om Gurave Namaha. Om Gurave Namaha. We pause for a moment and reflect on Dhanus or Sagittarius, the most noble-minded and idealistic of all the zodiac signs, today containing the moon, which is our mind and our emotions. We pause for a moment and reflect on this. The next Rasi or sign with the planet in it is Makara or Capricorn, which today contains Pluto retrograde and also Saturn retrograde. When planets are retrograde, they are extra powerful. We invoke Pluto, and the mantra for him is Om Krum Kruntankaya Namaha. I put the flower petals on Pluto. Om Krum Kruntankaya Namaha. Om Krum Kruntankaya Namaha. Om Krum Kruntankaya Namaha. Pluto is in a star called Uttarashada, a star that can give blessings of success, especially blessings for long-lasting success. We ask for blessings from this star, and I put the flower petals on top of Pluto. Om Uttarashadaye Namaha. Om Uttarashadaye Namaha. Om Uttarshadaye Namaha. Uttarshada star is ruled by the 10 Visvadevas, light beings who each embody a particular, unique, divine, universal principle. We ask for blessings from all of them. I put the flower petals on Pluto. Om Visvadevasye Namaha. Om Visvadevasye Namaha. Om Visvadevasye Namaha. Uttarashada star is ruled by the sun. We honor the sun, and I put flower petals on top of him. Om Suryaya Namaha. Om Suryaya Namaha. Om Suryaya Namaha. Now we invoke Saturn for being in Capricorn. Om Sanisharaya Namaha. Om Sanisharaya Namaha. Om Sanisharaya Namaha. Saturn is in a star called Dhanishta, a star that can give blessings of prosperity, music, good reputation. We honor this star, and I put the flower petals on top of Saturn. Om Dhanishtaye Namaha. Om Dhanishtaye Namaha. Om Dhanishtaye Namaha. Dhanishta star is ruled by the 8 Vasus, light beings who each rule different spheres of existence. We honor them, and I put the flower petals on top of Saturn. Om Vasusye Namaha. Om Vasusye Namaha. Om Vasusye Namaha. Dhanishta star is ruled by Mars. We honor Mars, and I put flower petals on him. Om Mangalaya Namaha. Om Mangalaya Namaha. Om Mangalaya Namaha. Now we honor the planet that rules Capricorn, which is Saturn. Again, we invoke Saturn, and I put more flower petals on him. Om Sanisharaya Namaha. Om Sanisharaya Namaha. Om Sanisharaya Namaha. We pause for a moment and reflect on Makara or Capricorn, a sign that can activate ancient past life skills and abilities, today containing Pluto, planet that can help us with rationality and science, and Saturn, a planet that can give blessings of patience, discipline, organization, structure, and compassion. We pause for a moment and reflect on this. The next Rasi or sign with the planet in it is Meena or Pisces, which today contains Neptune retrograde and Jupiter retrograde. Again, when planets are retrograde, they are extra powerful. We start with invoking Neptune, and we will use the mantra Om Vam Varunaye Namaha. We put flower petals on Neptune. Om Vam Varunaye Namaha. Om Vam Varunaye Namaha. Om Vam Varunaye Namaha. Neptune is in a star called Purvabhadrapada. This is a star with the fire of Kundalini and a star that helps with purification. We honor this star, and I put the flower petals on Neptune. Om Purvabhadrapadaye Namaha. Om Purvabhadrapadaye Namaha. Om Purvabhadrapadaye Namaha. Purvabhadrapada is ruled by Aja Ekapada, an archetype who can give blessings to help us experience deeper levels of silence and forgiveness. We honor him. I put the flower petals on Neptune. Om Aja Ekapadaye Namaha. Om Aja Ekapadaye Namaha. Om Aja Ekapadaye Namaha. Purva Bhajapada is ruled by Jupiter. We honor Jupiter, and I put flower petals on him. Om Gurave Namaha. Om Gurave Namaha. Om Gurave Namaha. Now we honor Jupiter for being in Pisces. Again, we honor him and put flower petals on him. Om Gurave Namaha. Om Gurave Namaha. Om Gurave Namaha. Jupiter is in a star called Uttara Bhadrapada, a star that Dr. Pillai says can help us with business development. We ask for blessings from this star, and I put the flower petals on Jupiter. Om Uttara Bhadrapadaye Namaha. Om Uttara Bhadrapadaye Namaha. Om Uttara Bhadrapadaye Namaha. Uttara Bhadrapada star is ruled by Aja Ekapada. He's ruled by Arbundia. Arbundia is an archetype that, among other things, can help to guard precious treasures. We ask him to guard our valuables, our treasures, our precious things. I put the flower petals on Jupiter. Om Arbundiaye Namaha. Om Arbundiaye Namaha. Om Arbundiaye Namaha. Uttara Bhadrapada star is ruled by Saturn. We honor Saturn, and I put more flower petals on him. Om Sanisharaya Namaha. Om Sanisharaya Namaha. Om Sanisharaya Namaha. Now we honor the planet that rules Pisces, which is Jupiter. Again, we honor Jupiter, and I put more flower petals on him. Om Gurave Namaha. Om Gurave Namaha. Om Gurave Namaha. We pause for a moment and reflect on Meena or Pisces, the zodiac sign that is the most transcendental, the most metaphysical in energies. Today containing Neptune, planet that can help us with intuition and understanding our own inner life. And Jupiter, planet that can help us to have access to spiritual teachings, spiritual teachers, and spiritual community. We pause for a moment and reflect on this. The next Rasi or sign with the planet in it is Misha or Aries, which today contains Rahu, Uranus, and Mars. We're going to invoke Rahu and Uranus together because they're both in the same star, and then I will invoke the star that they are in. We start with Rahu. I put flower petals on Rahu. Om Rahave Namaha. Om Rahave Namaha. Om Rahave Namaha. Now we honor Uranus. I put flower petals on him. Om, we use the mantra Om Hram Prajapataye Namaha. Om Hram Prajapataye Namaha. Om Hram Prajapataye Namaha. Om Hram Prajapataye Namaha. Rahu and Uranus are both in a star called Bharani, a star symbolized as the yoni, which represents the female private parts. This is a star with a tremendous amount of divine feminine Shakti, or energy, or power. We honor this star, and I put the flower petals across Uranus and Rahu. Om Bharaniye Namaha. Om Bharaniye Namaha. Om Bharaniye Namaha. Bharani star is ruled by Yama. Among other things, Yama is an archetype of justice. We honor Yama, and I put the flower petals across Rahu and Uranus. Om Yamaye Namaha. Om Yamaye Namaha. Om Yamaye Namaha. Barney star is ruled by Venus. I put the flower petals on him. Om Shukraya Namaha. Om Shukraya Namaha. Om Shukraya Namaha. Next, we honor Mars for being in Aries. I put the flower petals on him. Om Mangalaya Namaha. Om Mangalaya Namaha. Om Mangalaya Namaha. Mars is in a star called Kritika. This is a star in the Pleiadian system. It's a star with the energy of truth. We honor this star, and I put the flower petals on Mars. Om Kritikaye Namaha. Om Kritikaye Namaha. Om Kritikaye Namaha. Kritika is ruled by Agni, the archetype of fire. We honor Agni, and I put the flower petals on Mars. Om Agniye Namaha. Om Agniye Namaha. Om Agniye Namaha. Kritika star is ruled by the sun. We honor the sun, and I put the flower petals on him. Om Suryaya Namaha. Om Suryaya Namaha. Om Suryaya Namaha. Now we honor the planet that rules Aries, which is Mars. Again, we invoke Mars, and I put more flower petals on him. Om Mangalaya Namaha. Om Mangalaya Namaha. Om Mangalaya Namaha. We pause for a moment and reflect on Misha or Aries, a fire sign with very active energy, today containing Rahu, a planet that helps us to think outside the box. Uranus, a planet that helps with high intelligence and also helps with innovation, and actually also helps with astrology. And Mars, a planet that has energies of both the warrior and the healer. We pause for a moment and reflect on this. The next Rasi or sign with the planet in it is Karkata or Cancer, which today contains Venus and the sun. We honor Venus, and I put flower petals on him. Om Shukraya Namaha. Om Shukraya Namaha. Om Shukraya Namaha. Venus is in a star called Purnavasu. This is a star with energies that are very freedom-loving. We ask for blessings from this star, and I put the flower petals on Venus. Om Purnuvasaye Namaha. Om Purnuvasaye Namaha. Om Purnuvasaye Namaha. Purnavasu is ruled by a goddess called Aditi. She's a fabulous goddess, and she's the mother of many archetypes, including our own sun. We invoke Aditi and ask for her maternal compassion, her love, her protection. I put the flower petals on Venus. Om Aditye Namaha. Om Aditye Namaha. Om Aditye Namaha. Purnavasu star is ruled by Jupiter. Again, we invoke Jupiter, and I put more flower petals on him. Om Gurave Namaha. Om Gurave Namaha. Om Gurave Namaha. Now we invoke the sun for being in Cancer, and I put the flower petals on him. Om Suryaya Namaha. Om Suryaya Namaha. Om Suryaya Namaha. The sun is in a star called Aslesha, a star of mystical power. We honor this star, and I put the flower petals on the sun. Om Asleshaye Namaha. Om Asleshaye Namaha. Om Asleshaye Namaha. Aslesha's star is ruled by the Nagas, ancient beings who have great wisdom and know secrets about cycles of time. We honor them, and I put the flower petals on the sun. Om Nagasye Namaha. Om Nagasye Namaha. Om Nagasye Namaha. Aslesha's star is ruled by Mercury. We honor Mercury, and I put the flower petals on him. Om Buddhaya Namaha. Om Buddhaya Namaha. Om Buddhaya Namaha. Now we honor the planet that rules Cancer, which is the moon. We honor the moon, and I put flower petals on him. Om Chandraya Namaha. Om Chandraya Namaha. Om Chandraya Namaha. We pause for a moment and reflect on Karkata, or Cancer, the most emotionally sensitive of all the zodiac signs, today containing Venus, a planet of happiness, diplomacy, and a planet that helps us to enjoy material plane comforts and the arts. And the sun, which is our soul, and also a planet so important for our health, as without the sun, we literally have no life on this planet. We pause for a moment and reflect on this. The next Rasier sign with the planet in it is Simha, or Leo, which today contains Mercury. We honor Mercury, and I put the flower petals on him. Om Buddhaya Namaha. Om Buddhaya Namaha. Om Buddhaya Namaha. Mercury is in a star called Maga, a star of royalty consciousness. We honor this star, and I put the flower petals on Mercury. Om Magaye Namaha. Om Magaye Namaha. Om Magaye Namaha. Maga is ruled by the Pritis. These are deified forms of the ancestors, the ones who have moved into higher planes of light. We ask for their blessings, and I put the flower petals on Mercury. Om Pritisye Namaha. Om Pritisye Namaha. Om Pritisye Namaha. Maga's star is ruled by Ketu. We honor Ketu, and I put the flower petals on him. Om Ketave Namaha. Om Ketave Namaha. Om Ketave Namaha. Now we honor the planet that rules Leo, which is the sun. I put the flower petals on him. Om Suryaya Namaha. Om Suryaya Namaha. Om Suryaya Namaha. Now we pause for a moment and reflect on Simha, or Leo, a sign of power and energy, today containing Mercury, planet of communication, and also the planet that helps with all forms of buying and selling and helps us with analysis and recognizing patterns. We pause for a moment and reflect on this. Now I'm taking the lit tea light and I'm holding it above the blackboard that has the chalkboard chart on it and the flower petals that are in little piles. And I'm passing it 3 times around the chart in a clockwise direction, offering all these divine beings that we've just invoked the element of light. Now I take a little hand fan. Some of you could use an incense stick if you like. I have a housemate who's sensitive to scent. So I'm just waving a little hand fan 3 times above the chart, offering the element of air and a cooling breeze going in a clockwise direction. And now I'm going to ring a bell, offering the element of sound 3 times in a clockwise direction around the chart. Now I make prayer hands and I ask for blessings from all of these divine beings that we have just invoked, asking them to send their blessings into all of us, into our families, our friends, our neighbors, our colleagues, our communities, our workplaces, our homes, our schools, our communities, our countries, and indeed the entire planet. I pray to them, may everyone on this planet have healthy food to eat, clean water to drink, clean air to breathe, a safe place to live, access to health care, good education, sustainable jobs, and may everyone on this planet have love in their life, now and always. I pray for enlightened leaders, enlightened citizens, enlightened laws, enlightened countries, and entire enlightened civilizations. And I make a bow. You can continue to make your own prayers in silence for about a minute, and then I will open for some short question and answer period. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. Peace to the body, peace to the mind, peace to the soul, peace to the environment. Peace, peace, peace. May we all go about our day in peace. May light encompass all. Om Dram Dattatreya Vishnu Baba. I can now take questions. If you have a few questions for a brief time, you can post them in the chat and I can try to answer them if I know what a response is to make. But thank you all for being here. Thank you for your participation. I see Roz saying that she loves these sessions. Oh, thank you, Roz. I'm happy to be doing them. I love doing them too. So happy to have people who are tuning in and watching. Ranak is saying, I see that Venus has moved into Cancer with the sun, but the star is still Purnavasu. That's correct, Ranak. Over the weekend, Venus moved into Cancer. When we were doing it on Friday, Venus was still in Gemini. Some of the stars straddle some of the signs, and Purnivasu is partly in Gemini and partly in Cancer. So yes, there is an impact when Venus makes a movement into a fresh sign. There's also an impact on if it's sharing the sign with another planet. So there's an impact of the sun, yes, being with Venus. Venus is a feminine energy sign, excuse me, a feminine energy planet. Cancer is a feminine energy sign, so it heightens some of that feminine energy. The sun is still in Cancer, so again, it's like the king visiting the home of the queen, because Cancer is such a feminine energy sign. So it does heighten some of that feminine energy right now. Later this week, the sun is actually going to move into Leo, which is a sign that he rules. So he feels very good to be moving into Leo, because then he's like home in his castle when he comes there. So yes, there are different things that happen as the planets are moving into different signs and as they travel through the different stars. So you can feel some of that just thinking about, okay, Venus is now in a more emotionally sensitive area. It might make some people, their softer side, perhaps their more feminine side, feel a bit emotional, feel a bit more receptive, like that. You could consider that. That's a good question, Ranak. Okay. So again, not seeing any more questions at the moment, and I do want to be respectful of your time. The purpose of the puja is not to teach astrology overall. It's a vast ocean, but it is to allow us all to have an in-depth experience with the planets and the stars and the archetypes. So again, I'm hoping to do a series of some videos for Pillai Center Practice Channel on some of the astrological topics, but I haven't got that started just yet. So thank you all for being here. I will be here Monday through Friday this week doing the puja, and hope to see some of you again tomorrow or on subsequent days. So if you can like the video, that's helpful for us. And if you can subscribe to the channel, that's also helpful for us, because it helps raise our profile across the YouTube. Dr. Pillai does want this channel to grow. So thank you all that help with that as well. So blessings to everyone. Namaste. Namaste means the light in me honors the light in you. So again, namaste.